Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 is, in my opinion, one of the best flight simulators on the market today for general aviation pilots. The way Asoba was able to create a model of the entire world using AI and satellite data makes it really great for those of us who just fly VFR and would really like a more realistic image of what we would see if we were actually flying. Now, when I'm flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I like to use a tool called vPilot in conjunction with the VATSIM network to simulate real air traffic control communication.
Albuquerque Center, biplane 223 Golf Tango.
I'm sorry, biplane 223 Golf Tango, go ahead. I too chuckled at that.
Whether you're flying VFR like I normally do, or you're flying IFR, this is a great tool to use to really increase the realism and boost the immersion in your sim. Today I'll be giving you a step-by-step guide on how to sign up for VATSIM, install vPilot, and I'll be showing you a demo flight where I fly the pattern at Sky Harbor Airport in Phoenix, Arizona, while talking to a real air traffic controller. Quick disclaimer, I am not a flight instructor, and this is footage of a video game which is heavily edited, so please do not take this as flight instruction in any way, shape, or form. If you are a pilot or pilot in training, consult your instructor if you have any questions about flying in the real world. Alright, so before we get started, we're going to need a couple of things. The first one is going to be an account with VATSIM, and the second is a program called vPilot. So I'll have links in the description below if you want to just follow along yourself on their respective websites. They have a lot of resources available to help you get situated. Otherwise, I'll be going through it here in the video as well. So first off is VATSIM. Here is the network in which we'll be logging in and talking with other pilots and air traffic control. So you go to the website vatsim.net. I'll have a link in the description, or you can just Google VATSIM. You'll get to this page here, and you'll just click Get Started with VATSIM, and there'll be this registration page. So once you fill this out, they will email you a username and a password that you can use to log in. When I did it, there was a short waiting period. It was a couple hours just for them to verify my account, but it wasn't too long. And yet once you get your login credentials from your email, then you're going to want to go to vPilot, and I'll have a link there as well. So from vPilot, you go to their website, and up in the top corner, you'll click Download. And here is Download Stable. Just click that and run that installation. I already have it installed, so I won't be doing that at this time. The third thing we're going to want is this, which is the VATSIM Map. This is just a website that shows all of the towers and controllers and other flights that are happening on the VATSIM network. So I use this tool when I go flying. If I want to practice talking with air traffic control, I can log in and see where people actually are logged in and working the towers. For example, the red T icon here shows tower. The orange A is ATIS. We also have a green for ground. So this is a pretty useful tool so that you're not just logging on and wondering why no one's talking to you. You can just double check and make sure there's people in your area that are online. First thing you're going to want to do is launch vPilot, and we'll just get that set up for when you launch the sim. So it's going to ask you to log in. You're going to have that password and username that you had with VATSIM, and you're going to go to Settings and Network and enter all of your VATSIM information. The VATSIM server is not corresponding to where you're allowed to fly. This is just where your internet is going to connect to. So sometimes there'll be too many people logged on to one server. You can switch to either of them. It doesn't make much of a difference. And while you're here in the network settings, or the settings rather, go down to push to talk and assign a key or a button on your joystick, if you have one, to the push to talk button. So while you're holding down this button, anything you say into your microphone will be transmitted onto the network. For me, I use button 1 on my joystick, which is the trigger, as that's closest to the plane I fly in real life. Next, I would go to audio. That's a little bit out of order, but make sure that you have the correct audio device selected, as well as the correct output device. If you have, say, different speakers and headphones plugged into your computer, this will just make sure it's coming in through your headphones if that's where you want to be heard. First time I set this up, the sound was coming out of my monitor, but I was wearing headphones, so I was wondering why it sounded so weird, so I had to just go in and update that. I would keep this unchecked. It'll add sort of a radio distortion. Just sounds a little bit more realistic. In here, you're going to adjust the levels so that the volume stays in the green indicator while you're speaking normally. Looks like mine's just a little bit quiet, so I'm going to just increase it a little bit so that while I'm talking, it's in the green area. Even if it's just right below that, it's fine. I've had some controllers tell me I sounded a little bit loud while it was just in the center of the green. So just trial and error, but use this as a general rule of thumb. You'd want it at least in the green, not in the red. That's too loud, but anywhere in this area is perfect. That's pretty much all we're going to need for this section, so we'll go ahead and click OK. And next you're going to launch Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now I already have it up. And you're going to go to your world map, and we're going to pick an airport to go to. So let's say, for the sake of argument, let's refresh our VATSIM map and try and find a place with a tower. So Phoenix Sky Harbor currently has a tower, so we'll go ahead and fly there. Now, before you load in, you're going to want to scroll in as much as you can to the airport you're going to, and I would advise that you never spawn on the runways. Don't load in on the runways or load in midair. Always load in on the ramp or a parking area, because what you don't want to happen is the controller is bringing someone in, landing, and then all of a sudden a plane just appears out of nowhere and throws everything off. So always spawn at the parking. We'll go ahead and go to this ramp, and we'll set that as our location. I'll be in the Just-Flight Piper Aero 3. It's a really nice it's a really nice aircraft that's available on the market. And I've taken a ride in one of these a couple of times, and it feels pretty close to the real thing. I haven't done a lot of training in it, or any really, but from what I could tell, it was a pretty well made aircraft for the simulator. So we'll go ahead and click fly. Alright, so here we are at Sky Harbor. I went ahead and got the plane all started up for us for the sake of time. But once you're loaded in, you'll want to pull up vPilot, and you'll click Connect. Here you'll enter the call sign that you'd like for your aircraft, and for your type code, you can actually just type in the name of your aircraft, or the type of your aircraft, for example, Cessna 172 if you're not sure, and it will show you the correct type code. So for me, I'm in the Just-Flight Piper Aero 3, which is P28 Romeo, or Papa 28 Romeo. Hit connect, and we are connected to the server. Now we're going to see all of the services available to us here. So to get our ATIS information, we can simply double-click ATIS, that way we don't have to listen to it on the radio, and we can just copy down the relevant information that we need. Let me move this out of the way, and we'll also get Phoenix ground on 13255. 13255. Phoenix ground, Piper 223 Golf Tango, comm check.
Piper 223 Golf Tango, Phoenix Ground, good evening.
Phoenix ground, good evening. Piper 223 Golf Tango at Alpha 4. We would like to remain in pattern with X-ray.
Piper 223 Golf Tango, squawk 0301.
03013 Golf Tango.
And Piper 3 Golf Tango, runway 8, taxi via Alpha.
Runway 8 via Alpha. So, ground was able to hear and understand us, which means VATSIM is working. So just sit back and enjoy the rest of this flight. Phoenix Tower, Piper 223 Golf Tango, holding short runway 8 to remain in the pattern.
Piper 223 Golf Tango, make left close traffic 10906, runway 8 clear for takeoff.
Left closed traffic, runway 8 clear for takeoff. 3 Golf Tango. Alright, so we just line up, give her full power. And we're off. And raise our landing gear. So he has us making left closed traffic. So once we're a little more clear of the runway, we'll go ahead and start our left turn. I'll show you here what I see on my phone in T.Flight. Plugs directly into the sim. Very useful tool here, especially with helping me round out my patterns. Go ahead and make my midfield call. Phoenix Tower, Piper 223, midfield, runway 8, we'd like full stop.
Piper 223 Golf Tango, wind is 09006, runway 8 clear to land.
Runway 8, clear to land, 3 Golf Tango. Alright, we'll go ahead and start slowing down here. Alright, we're a little high, let's go ahead and a little high, a little fast. So I'm going to pull power. There we go, there's glide slope. And we're here at 75 knots, right where we want to be. Start chasing that center line. Power idle. Hold. There we go. Ease the nose down, apply brakes.
Piper 223 Golf Tango, taxi parking via Alpha, have a good evening.
Taxi to parking via Alpha. Have a good one. Alright guys, there you have it. So by this point you should know how to get started in VATSIM. It's a really great tool for practicing on the radios. It just adds that extra little layer of immersion for the sim. So let me know if you had any questions. I know it's a bit involved to get working, to say the very least. There's quite a few programs, but if there's anything that you wanted to know more about, just leave a comment. Maybe I'll make some follow-up videos if something wasn't clear, but just let me know what you guys think, and I look forward to flying with you someday. And until then, have a great one.